Hello and welcome. I'm Blair Blackwell, and this is the Daily Cyber Brief. Here's today's rundown of the biggest cybersecurity stories you need to know today. Good morning. It's Wednesday, December 10th, and this is the Daily Cyber Brief. Today's landscape is shaped by a heavy patch cycle across Microsoft, Fortinet, Ivanti, and SAP, alongside fast-evolving ransomware tradecraft and fresh activity tied to the React-to-Shell flaw. We start with patches. Microsoft's final patch Tuesday of 2025 landed with updates addressing dozens of vulnerabilities, including one 0-day already exploited and two more that were publicly disclosed. Extended security updates for Windows 10 and new cumulative updates for Windows 11 are out as well. One note from researchers: proof of concept code is already available for two flaws this month. And across the year, Microsoft has issued fixes for more than 1,150 vulnerabilities. For security teams, that matters. Meanwhile, Fortinet warned of two critical issues that allow attackers to bypass FortiCloud single sign-on, affecting FortiOS, FortiWeb, FortiProxy, and FortiSwitch Manager. Ivanti urged customers to address a critical remote code execution flaw in Endpoint Manager. And SAP's December release fixes 14 issues across multiple products, 3 of them rated critical. The common thread: identity and administrative paths that, if left unpatched, give attackers powerful footholds. Turning to ransomware and tradecraft, multiple reports point to adversaries working hard to disappear inside endpoints. An initial access broker, tracked as Storm0249, is abusing legitimate Windows utilities and even endpoint detection and response tools to load malware and persist. With a shift toward tactics like domain spoofing, DLL sideloading, fileless PowerShell, and the click-fix technique. Separately, a Packer as a service, called Shania, is being sold to obfuscate payloads and even kill EDR processes, helping ransomware actors reach targets and operate quietly. And from Japan, a reminder of impact: manufacturers, retailers, and government agencies have faced ransomware incidents with recovery that stretches for months. On the threat actor front, North Korea-linked operators are now exploiting the React-to-Shell flaw in React server components to deliver a new Linux-focused remote access Trojan named EtherRat. The tool uses Ethereum smart contracts to resolve command and control and employs 5 separate persistence mechanisms. Researchers also highlight Castle Loader, a loader being offered as malware as a service and observed across 4 distinct threat clusters. Another sign that turnkey tooling is lowering the bar. A quick law enforcement note: Spanish police arrested a 19-year-old in Barcelona, suspected of stealing 64 million personal records across 9 companies and attempting to sell them. Useful signal, but it doesn't slow the broader market for stolen data. Who should care and why? Windows estates, SAP environments, and organizations running Fortinet Gear or Ivanti Endpoint Manager have near-term patch pressure, especially those relying on single sign-on for admin access. Manufacturers, retailers, and public sector agencies should note the sustained operational drag from ransomware and the shift towards stealth techniques that blunt EDR visibility. Teams building on modern JavaScript frameworks, particularly React server components, and those running Linux servers should track React-to-Shell exploitation and the EtherRat tooling. And for anyone depending on third-party loaders or integrations, the growth of malware as a service keeps widening the threat funnel. Looking ahead, expect active probing around the Microsoft 0-day and the 2 publicly disclosed bugs. Watch for exploit attempts against Fortinet's SSO bypass and patch uptake on Ivanti Endpoint Manager. Researchers are already seeing ongoing React-to-Shell activity, so monitoring for that vector remains relevant. No major headlines reported since the last session beyond these. What I'll be watching today: identity edges and single sign-on platforms given the Fortinet advisories. Windows and SAP patch adoption across large fleets, especially where change windows are tight. EDR evasion, including abuse of trusted binaries and Packer as a service offerings like Shania. And signs that Castle Loader or EtherRat expand into new sectors as operators iterate. The takeaway: it's a busy patching day, and at the same time, ransomware crews are investing in stealth. The near-term question is whether defenders can close identity gaps and keep pace on patches before these techniques move further downstream. That's it for today's edition of the Daily Cyber Brief. Thanks for listening. I'm Blair Blackwell. This podcast is for informational purposes only and is not cybersecurity, legal, or financial advice.